Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the NFL Thursday Night Showdown slate. We have the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns. Terrible game. Browns look really bad. Bengals should have won. We'll see how these teams respond in Week 2 on Thursday Night Football, but we got to break it down for Draftkings. So before I get into that, if you're new to this channel, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, turn on the notification bell. All those things really help me out. We've had a lot of growth throughout NASCAR and NBA season. Now NFL is here. So having some growth throughout that as well. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for coming. If you want to get more of my content, you can always subscribe to my Patreon for only $10 a month. You're going to get articles for every single position every week, along with my tiers and rankings for every single position, my top stacks, my top cash plays. So, yep, all that stuff over there on Patreon and my injury notes as well. So be sure to check that out. If you want to subscribe to, or follow me on social media. Twitter's at DFSNateLane, Instagram's at @NateLane_. I'll put the link in the description below. Just like talking about sports over there, and if you have any questions, I'll answer them for you over there as well. Yeah, I think that's really it. Let's get into this breakdown, and we're going to start with the quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield, Joe Burrow. At captain, Baker Mayfield's 15,300. Joe Burrow's 16,200. In the flex, we have 10,200 for Baker Mayfield and 10,800 for Joe Burrow. I don't usually like putting quarterbacks in the captain spot outside of like a select few, the ones with like rushing upside on some slates, but I'm not really looking to put the quarterbacks in the captain spot today. I just don't think they have the upside that the receivers and running backs do, but I do want to play them in flex spots, especially if I have a wide receiver at my captain. We'll go through the matchups first. Baker Mayfield his starting offensive line. It consists of rookie Jedrick Wills, Joel Bitonio, J.C. Treader, Wyatt Teller, and Jack Conklin. He's going up against the defensive line of Carl Lawson, Sam Hubbard, DJ Reader, Carlos Dunlap, and Mike Daniels. The offensive line grades out positively against the Cincinnati defensive line, so that's good. The starting wide receivers for Cleveland, we got Odell on the outside, Kadarius Hodge on the outside, number 2, and then Jarvis Landry in the slot. The starting corners for Cincy are going to be William Jackson, Darius Phillips, and Mackenzie Alexander. When we go look at the overall offense versus defenses for the wide receivers, it's going to grade out slightly negative for the receivers, but that's mostly just because Kadarius Hodge is there, and he doesn't grade out well at all. But he's not really he only got the ball thrown to him like 3 times last game, so it's mostly going to Odell and Jarvis. And we know those two are really good wide receivers. Then we got Austin Hooper at the tight end going against Jermaine Pratt, Josh Bynes, and Logan Wilson on the linebackers. Grades out positively there. And then Von Bell and Jesse Bates are the 2 safeties for Cincinnati. That grades out well as well. And it ends up with Baker Mayfield grading out pretty well in this game. This game has a line of 44. The Browns are favored in this game, but I don't think it's going to be like that much of a blowout. I'd kind of be shocked, especially the way the Browns played the other day. So, I think we don't really have to worry about the game script as much. I think this game, I just don't think that this is going to be a game that's going to be blowout. It should be a pretty close game, I feel like. Cincinnati looked pretty decent. They looked okay. They should have won that game or tied it and went to overtime. Missed field goal. That just felt like there were a million of those this week. But stuff happens. Joe Burrow, his starting offensive line, Jonah Williams, Xavier Su'a-Filo, Trey Hopkins, Michael Jordan, Bobby Hart. Not the Michael Jordan. Starting defensive line for Cleveland, we got Olivier Vernon, Adrian Claiborne, Sheldon Richardson, Myles Garrett, and Larry Ogunjobi. The offensive line grades out negatively against that defensive line. The wide receivers for Joe Burrow, we got AJ Green on the outside, John Ross on the outside, and Tyler Boyd in the slot. The corners for Cleveland, we have Denzel Ward. Right now I have Terrence Mitchell and Tavier Thomas because Greedy Williams and Kevin Johnson were out on Sunday. We'll see if they come back. I don't know yet. We'll find out on Wednesday or Thursday. But if they do, I think that makes the matchup for the receivers for for Cincinnati even tougher. Right now, I don't hate going to any of them really, but if that is the case, it's a little bit tougher. But still, probably not something on a 2-game slate where I'm too worried about. But just a little note there. When we go look at the overall offensive defenses, the wide receivers for Cincinnati do grade out positively against those corners. CJ Uzomah is starting tight end for Cincinnati. We got BJ Goodson, Sione Takitaki, and Jacob Phillips in the linebacker group for Cleveland. And then the safeties are Carl Joseph and Anderson Tejo. Overall, it looks like Joe Burrow is going to grade out negatively on this slate, or no, just slightly positively on this slate, but that's okay. It's only a 2-game slate. I still want to get some Joe Burrow in some lineups. I'm not going to just say, oh, he doesn't grade out great. I'm going to go away from him. Honestly, none of these guys grade out fantastically on this game. This isn't really a very appealing game. Like, if this was on a main slate, this would not be a game I'd be really looking to attack all that much. All right, up next we're going to go to the tight ends. There's really only 2 I'm interested in. I'm interested in CJ Uzomah and Austin Hooper. That's it. CJ Uzomah at captain, 7,500 and 5,000 to flex. I do not want to touch him in captain at all. Austin Hooper is 10,200 at captain, 6,800 in the flex. If you want to play Austin Hooper at captain, that's fine. Probably not where I'm going to go, but I don't hate it as much. Just make sure if you're putting a tight end captain, you want to play their quarterback in the lineup as well. When we go look at their overall matchup, CJ Uzomah grades out negatively, and Austin Hooper grades out positively. I mean, it's just the nature of things. But CJ Uzomah got 5 targets last week, and Austin Hooper only saw 2. But David Njoku is on the IR now for Cleveland, so Austin Hooper's the only tight end. I expect him to get more targets, and Baltimore's who they played last week, and usually Baltimore's a team that just doesn't allow tight ends to do absolutely anything. So I'm not really that surprised he only saw 2 targets last week. I think that goes up. That's why I'm a little bit worried about not putting him at captain, though. It's just because he did only have the 2 targets. The matchup does look very good, though. CJ Uzomah, he had 5 targets last week, so the volume seems to be there. Looks like he's going to be utilized in his offense a little bit, so definitely want to get some exposure to him in the flex spot, but probably not anywhere I want to go with captain. So CJ Uzomah, and Austin Hooper definitely got some interest in. None of these other tight ends. I mean, yeah, Drew Sample had 1 target last week. Harrison Bryant had 2, and Steven Carlson 1, but I just don't think these are really guys to go to at all. Probably not going to take stabs on any of these guys. They just don't seem to be really utilized in this offense at all. Up next, we got the wide receivers, where we are going to start with so Cincinnati runs out Tyler Boyd, AJ Green. T. Higgins didn't really even play last week. He didn't even have a target. John Ross. Those are pretty much the core 3 receivers for Cincinnati. And then we have Odell Beckham Jr. for Cleveland, Kadero Hodge, who's only $600. That's an interesting one to keep in back of your mind. And then Jarvis Landry. So those are the 3 main receivers for them. Rashard Higgins got a little bit of run, but not a ton. If we go look at their overall matchups, it's going to be a positive matchup for Odell. We have a positive matchup for Kadero Hodge and a positive matchup for Jarvis Landry. Secondary for Cincinnati really isn't that good. I think William Jackson's pretty solid, but outside of that, probably not something I'd really want to say is like a great starting offense or starting secondary. Tyler Boyd grades out positively. AJ Green grades out negatively. John Ross grades out negatively. If we go look at the targets for last week, Tyler Boyd had 5. AJ Green had 9. John Ross had 5, and then Mike Thomas, I've never even heard of this guy, had 3 targets, but probably not someone I want to go after that much there. But Tyler Boyd at 5, if he's going up against the slot against not Kevin Johnson, I think that's very, very good. We have AJ Green on the outside, probably going up against Denzel Ward, but Denzel Ward didn't look good against Marquise Brown, so I think that's fine. And then John Ross on the outside. I mean, I'll go after all these guys. I don't think I really want to put any of them in my captain, to be completely honest. I think this is going to be a game where it's just a lot more running, but 2 rush-heavy teams. If any of them I'm going to put in my captain, it's probably AJ Green because he saw 9 targets. The rest of them, maybe Tyler Boyd, but I still probably don't want to go there. But I definitely do want to get all these guys in the flex for sure. And then we go to Cleveland. Odell, definitely someone I'm interested for captain just because we saw 10 targets last week. He had a bad game, but he got the ball thrown to him 10 times. So, I mean, if you can just catch him, then that'll help a lot. Jarvis Landry had 6 targets. I think he's someone that just has the upside, someone I'm definitely interested in putting in my captain spot for sure. Maybe not going to go there. I usually only run out about 4 captains, so we'll see what I do with the running backs. That's, I think, going to be the most interesting one for me with the Browns running backs, decide if I want to do Landry or not at captain, but definitely got some interest there. And then Kadero Hodge, I don't want to play him in captain spot, but he saw 3 targets last week, and he's only $600, so if he can get a few catches, I think he's going to pay off. So definitely someone I'm not against going. He's super cheap. I do not hate going there at all. There we go. We're going to finish this off with the running backs, where I'm interested in Giovanni Bernard and Joe Mixon for Cincinnati, and then Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt for Cleveland. I think everyone knew that. Giovanni Bernard, $4,500 a captain. Do not want to go there. Not really a lot of interest in him at the flex, but he is a pass-catching back, so he's got that PPR role, so I think that's okay. And then Joe Mixon, $12,900 a captain, definitely interested, and at flex, definitely interested. I mean, he's just going to get the ball a ton, so definitely someone I'm interested for captain. Then we have Nick Chubb at $11,400 at the captain and $7,600 at the flex spot, and then Kareem Hunt at $11,100 on the captain and $7,400 at the flex spot. We're going to look at the Bengals' overall matchup. Offensive versus defensive line. Both these matches for both these teams are going to be negative against offensive versus defensive line, but really negative for Cincinnati. It's good. It's run defense looked terrible against Baltimore, but pretty much every team's run defense has looked terrible against Baltimore over the last 2 years. So I'm not really too worried about. I think a lot of people are overreacting to how bad Cleveland looked. It was their first game with a new team or with a new coach, and against Baltimore. So I think people are overreacting a little bit to that. We'll see if they suck against Cincy. Then yeah, something's up, but. Right now, I think everyone just needs to chill on all the overreactions from week 1. Just seeing a lot of stuff that's just been okay, let's pump the brakes a little bit here. But Joe Mixon rushed the ball 19 times and got targeted twice in the air, so that's good. He's going to get the ball 20 times, especially because I think this should be like a scripted game where I think it's just kind of decently close. I mean, they're 5-point underdogs, but I don't think they're going to get blown out. I mean, they probably should have gotten blown out by the Chargers, and they didn't, so that's good. Nick Chubb only ran the ball 10 times. Now, this is another thing that people in like the fantasy football world and the DFS world are like all freaking out. Well, okay, but Nick Chubb isn't a running back who we all knew this. Nick Chubb isn't game script independent. Like, he's a game script dependent running back. Like, when they're behind a ton, they're going to go to Kareem Hunt in the pass catching. I mean, I literally said that in my video last week, that I don't like Nick Chubb this week because I think they're going to get blown out and he's not going to be used. He only ran the ball 10 times. That's not indicative on how the rest of the season is going to go, I don't think. I wouldn't think it is. I mean, Nick Chubb, was one of the best running backs in the league last year, so I don't think that he's going to not be used anymore, but that's just what happened last week. So I'm fine going back to Nick Chubb this week. Will he get the ball 20 times a game? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna see how this plays out for him and Kareem Hunt. I'm not going based off of week 1 where they were down by 30 the whole game and saying, oh, they didn't use a running back who can't catch the ball, who is never used as a pass catcher. He's screwed for the whole season. Like, no, don't do that. Kareem Hunt ran it 13 times and got 6 targets. That 13 rushing is a little bit worrisome for Nick Chubb, but I still think it's fine. I'm not too worried about that. Kareem Hunt looked very good as well. He looked pretty solid. The 6 targets are big. He's someone who sneakily could be a good flex or a good captain play, I think, this week. Just because I think he has the upside, I don't think a lot of people are going to go there. But, Kareem Hunt looks good. Kareem Hunt was a great pick. Always been on a value play for me in fantasy football all year. Nick Chubb wasn't someone I wanted to go after. But everyone is, freaking out about Nick Chubb's season being over. Needs to just pump the brakes a little bit on that. So, I don't think this is going to be a backfield where they're going to be both rushing the ball 13 times a game. I think Chubb probably ends up getting 18 to 20. Hunt's probably about 10 rushes, but he's also getting targeted 6 times through the air. And Nick Chubb isn't going to get any targets. I mean, he had 1, but everyone just needs to chill out with Nick Chubb for a little bit. But Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, I like them both for captain. I think they're a little bit risky, especially, I don't want to say Nick Chubb. I mean, I just think people might be scared off Nick Chubb and he might just end up being a good play. So we'll see what happens, but I think that's really all I got to say in this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, got a lot of good information out of it. Don't be scared to play Nick Chubb this week. Just don't. In fantasy football or on Draftkings at all. So thank you guys for checking this out. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe on the channel. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Be sure to check out most of my videos coming out. It's only the first one for the week. We got some more coming out probably starting tomorrow. So thank you guys for checking this out. Hope you have a great day.